Hello, this is Thiago from International Potato Center. It's a pleasure being part of the RTBfoods annual meeting again, now virtual. I will present the main highlights and project findings on boiled potato. First, I want to thank the team that you see below. I will present on their behalf. Let's go. Well, I'm taking advantage of some of the good pictures from last year's presentation. Since you want to see my beautiful face, you have here some nice pictures of potato from the local market in Kabale, Uganda. We will move through work packets. I think that's the best way to explain the main highlights we have for last year. I may miss some of the information, but we can catch up in the QA session, right? Or even some of my colleagues being there, they will be able to answer them. The main achievement on Work Pact 1 was this publication about quality traits for gender responsive breeding for boiled potato in Uganda. On this publication, I want to highlight one of the tables, gender responsive product profile. Not a big difference was observed between men and women, but important aspects were captured and certainly will be considered across work packets. Those are valid and important information to improve how we are measuring quality traits on boiled potato. Moving to work packet 2. Thanks, Marianne, for your slides. It was amazing. Let's talk about it. We conduct several experiments to develop SOP for evaluation texture of boiled potato that is reliable, valid, and likely to be correlated with sensor outcomes. In the first place, we conduct experiment where we use cubes and whole tubers. We found that even with cooking time as short as 3 minutes, it was not possible to discriminate varieties by texture when cubes are used. We shared these results with Work Packet 2 leaders and CIRA team, and we continue to develop an SOP that used the whole tubers, right? And we had to establish the most suitable cooking time. With further experiments, we found that cooking up to 20 minutes results in data that was reliable and discriminative. So after 20 minutes, we don't have consistent results that you can see on the table below. Secondly, we had to find out the optimal tuber size to use since the size had significant effect on texture, right? At a constant cooking time, we found that it was possible to get reliable discriminative results with all the range of size we used. However, we still need to control the weight within the range of more or less 20 grams to overcome the influence of the variation during the size. So you can observe some of the results in the tables and also the significance about the tuber size below. Lastly, we had to select a probe. We already had good results showing that cylindrical probe would give us good results. Then we went on to also compare conical probe with other shapes. The conical blade gave good results, but the knife blade did not. So from the results, we propose an SOP where we boil whole tuber for 20 minutes. Then we use a conical probe to analyze texture. So the results, as you see on the sequence of the picture from step 1 to step 3, we have shared with the CIRA team, and we are waiting for their feedback. We also attempt to develop SOP for cooking type, and for that adapting a methodology from AZPC, which grades potato on the scale from 1 to 6 according to the degree of disintegration after cooking. We boil a diverse set of potato genotypes for 20 to 25 minutes, and the range of cooking type was not wide. There is a need to investigate the texture associated with the different cooking times to improve the significance of the results. And it might need to modify as well the scale to suit the variation and the correlated cookie type with the sensor analysis. This is a picture that displays the diverse set of genotypes on potato that we have used on work packet 2, but also attempt to use on work packet 3. Work packet 3. Well, not much was done on work packet 3 because COVID-19 restrictions, but we can discuss a bit about the work plan and how we are planning to overcome the challenge we faced. Highlighting some of the progress on the NIRS calibration for potato and perhaps some of our work plan for last year. So we had planned a panel comprised with SIP, advanced tetraploids, and local varieties that were planted again in Kenya to be used on work packet 2 and 3. And the plan was to carry out a work packet 2 and 3 joint activity similar of what was achieved on sweet potato at NIRS facility. And it was planned to work on raw fresh, raw dry, boil fresh, and boil dry samples. And this was the plan for last year. We mainly work on work packet 2 and work packet 3 was a bit challenged, as I have mentioned, about the restrictions we have on COVID-19. We could not have Thomas in Uganda, and therefore not much was done on work packet 3. Specific quality parameters have still to be defined. Of course, we have already done some work like on work packet 2, as I have explained already. Some of the quality traits to be accessed will be certain sugar profiles, textures. We are developed the SOP, cooking time and cooking type as well, starch and anti-nutritional components such as glycoalkaloids. So what I did, actually it's a table that was prepared by Thomas, and here we have a timeline for potato for period 4. And we really expect that we're going to meet, the deadlines that we are proposing here for the NIRS calibration. On work packet 4, we wish we could do more, especially on phenotyping quality traits, as we had like some trials in the field in Uganda, and we could basically collect, the yield performance or the performance in the field and some other agronomic traits, but we did not really collect any quality traits besides, the samples that we have provided to work packet 2 and work packet 3. So we have we have assessed the performance of those genotypes in the field, and on top of that we have supply with samples work packet 2 and 3. So here you can see the map, showing the locations where the trials were planted, and also on the right you have the graphic with some results, right? The blobs for tuber yield performance and for 97 genotypes in 2 locations. You see that we have a quite diverse, performance in terms of yield. And of course, I suppose that we do have also quite diverse in terms of quality traits and so on. On work packet 5, we don't have results for period 3, and we are mainly planning, trials for period 5, where we think it's going to be more feasible to do some trials with the advanced clones that we may select this year, and we can move with some of them to next year to on-farm trials. But of course, this is funding dependent, and we'll see how we're gonna handle this work packet 5, especially in period 5. Yeah, so conclusions, I think it's more or less the same what we have done last year. So I think the same enhanced collaboration with excellence in breeding, RTB, and private companies. We have tried that last year. So also coming assessment and sampling about agronomic evaluation, quality traits to inform crop ontology. I think we need to yeah, work on the crop ontology for work packet 2, especially on those also SOPs and all those things that we are now developing on potato. And the new spectre calibration to be developed for quality traits by work packet 3 that it was planned for this period 3, and unfortunately we could not do it. So big thanks to the whole team. And here, big thanks to the donors and to RTB Foods projects and to the whole team.